Hello. How is everybody? This is Love, of course, from Hanging Out with Love. And today's video is about the benefits of the level up. And I like to do videos like this every now and then because I feel like it's always good to have a reminder, right? Like when you eat healthy, you eat healthy because of a variety of reasons, right? It could be the weight loss. It could be you really needed to clear up your skin because the foods you were eating were causing your blemishes. It could be to balance out your mood. Maybe you were consuming some foods like chicken or beef that are constantly fed with hormones and aren't the best for your reproductive health, right? So there's always several different reasons. Hey, Lux. There's always several different reasons why you can do something. But when it comes to leveling up, there's several different reasons why you can do that as well. And so I wanted to talk about the benefits of it and then also how you can benefit the most from doing it. Hey, Journey. How are you? And so first of all, when you're leveling up, you have to be submerged in this. Like, I always talk about how we were conditioned to think a certain way, especially Black women. So we already know there's several different attacks on Black men, mental, financial, they're locking them up because they don't like the idea of Black families thriving, Black families doing well, right? I hope you are as well. Hey, Lizzie. Yes, I am good. Thank you for asking. And so they don't like the idea of us doing well, and you really do need a man. It's a balance thing, right? We have that feminine, he brings the masculine. We bring the nurturing, he's the provider, but it brings that balance so that you have families together and families that are whole. And I'll tell you this, and this is not to take away from like single moms or anything like that, but when I was growing up, I think I was in about the 4th grade when my friends started to make comments about the fact that I had a dad. And they used to say, oh, your daddy, he lives with you? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, my dad doesn't live with me, and that was very confusing. But there were actually girls in my class that did not like me because I had a father. I didn't understand that. I thought everybody had a mom and a dad. That was never explained to me when I was younger, so everybody that didn't have that, they typically want to give their children that same life that they lacked. And then those people that grew up with both parents, they normally want their children to live the same way, right? So there are benefits to leveling up because when you date down, when you date men that are minuscule, when you date men that are beneath you, then you're not allowing yourself that luxury to give your future children the life that they deserve. So the next thing, I said be submerged. So when I say be submerged, that means that you have to constantly recondition yourself, right? So as you guys know, I do consultations. I have level up books. There are a number of YouTube videos. Like, I'm obviously a very new channel. I've just started my channel within these past few months. But there are people who have had their channels for years that have hundreds upon thousands of videos on leveling up. You can even watch their journey from watching their videos, how they used to look compared to what the quality of their videos and what the quality of their style is from point A to point B. And I love that. But you do have to be submerged in it. You have to think level up. You have to be level up. You have to dress level up. Like, go all in. Don't play with it. All right? The next thing is to be committed. So I've seen several times under videos where people are like, oh, I used to be leveled up and then I stopped, or, you know, I knew my worth and then I met this guy. Like, no. You didn't know your worth, because if you did, nobody can take you away from that. All right? Nobody can. Once you truly know your worth, I love you too. Once you truly know your worth, nobody can take you away from it. And this is what I noticed from a lot of women. Because leveling up brings you the male attention that you want, a lot of women, that's all they need. They're just trying to get a guy, secure the guy, and then they're doing whatever they possibly can to keep him and to keep him happy, when they need to be focused on themselves and continuously growing and pouring into themselves so that they can keep being better. Hey, Mudcat. So you have to be committed to it. And it's not just being committed to looking pretty every day and having your hair done and having your nails and your toes done. It's a commitment to you. It's a commitment to say, I deserve the best, so I'm going to look the best, I'm going to attract the best, and I'm not going to accept anything less than the best, period. All right? The next thing is be unwavering. Men are going to try you. Okay? I get tried all the time, trust me, and there are people who know good and well, like, this girl is spoiled. Well, woman. This woman is spoiled. She's been spoiled since day one, like by her dad, by her grandfather, by her uncle, by her mother. Like, me and all three of my sisters are spoiled. My mom always says that we're rotten. But men are going to try you to see what they can get away with. They're going to try you to push your boundaries a little bit. They have to. Why wouldn't they? Who doesn't do that? Right? That's just like when a parent tells a child not to do something, but it's something that they really want to do. Well, I really want to do this, so I'm just going to try it anyway. The child doesn't stop until they get, right, or they're grounded, or they get their phone taken away. And then it's a problem because they have a consequence, or they're not accepting that, right? I want to debate. I don't debate men, babe. Right, I'm spoiled, so he has no choice but to spoil me too. Exactly. So you're absolutely right. When you are spoiled, you just automatically expect the same. And to be honest, you exude that. Like, men know, but some of them try to, like, get you off kilter. Like, prime example, I've had several men say things to me like, oh, you're spoiled, I'm gonna change that, or I'm gonna basically make you change your mindset. Like, I'm not gonna be spoiling you, and, you know, you're not gonna get whatever you want from me. But I'm like, excuse me? You think I've been spoiled for over 2 decades and you're automatically just going to come into my life and change that? Absolutely not. You're going to get replaced. That's what's going to happen. If I don't get what I want from you, I'm going to cut you off and date somebody who's going to give me what I want. Because I'm a firm believer in, you're never asking for too much. You're just asking the wrong person. Comprende? So, next. Oh, I said men will try you, especially dusties. Those dusties are the worst. Anyway, so low value women will pretend to have standards, but they don't stick to them. So this is why men will try you so heavily, because they're accustomed to women who carry themselves a certain way. Like, have y'all ever met a woman who was like really pretty, but she was very scandalous? Really pretty, but she was messy. Really pretty, but she was always dealing with low value men, and people are like, you don't have to deal with that. Or you could have been one of those women and a man tells you, you don't have to deal with that. Like, you're too pretty to be dealing with that. There are plenty of women who look just as beautiful as you and will accept the bare minimum at every turn because they don't know their worth. So just because you look a certain way, that doesn't mean that men are automatically going to think that you think a certain way. Your mentality is going to show through your behavior. Okay? Right. So next, silence is a message. Okay? Silence is a message. So I don't want you guys out here thinking that, oh, if I don't say anything, if I don't respond to whatever he said, then that's going to work. You have to be very strategic with silence. Sometimes silence is golden, but then sometimes silence can be a problem because people take that as acceptance. So if a man like calls you out of your name, or he makes a joke like, ha ha ha, shut up, stupid, or something like that, you have to nip that in the bud. That's not for you to be like, oh, I'm not going to say anything because he wasn't talking to me. Well, yes, he was. He was talking to you. He may not have expected a response from you, but he was talking directly to you. So what are you going to do about it? Because that should be the last time. I had a guy, we were going out on a date. I don't remember what I said. I was making a joke about something, and he said, ha ha ha, shut up. And I paused, and he's like, what's wrong? I said, did you just tell me to shut up? And he's like, oh, I was just joking. I said, don't ever do that again. And that was the end of it. Do you think he told me to shut up again? No. But it always starts off as just playing, just a joke, right? And then it becomes patterns of behaviors because this is what you've accepted. It's never just a joke. It's never just a joke. Yes, a guy tried to call me the N-word and I checked it so fast. It was a few dates in and I threatened to call an Uber and almost ended it. He's young. I probably need to get away from him. Absolutely. Let me tell you something about young men. First of all, young men really don't have any money. I've dated some young men that really did take good care of me, like paid all my bills and stuff, but they weren't able to do that if we were living separately. You know, like it was more like, okay, we're cohabitating, so you're able to pay these bills because we're in one household. But if you stayed in your place and he stayed in his place, would he be able to comfortably afford taking care of both of you? Probably not. And because they're so young, they make the dumb, like, young men make stupid mistakes. Like, they say stupid things, they do stupid things, they're very impulsive. They don't really have that self-control, right? And just like, you know, little boys, when they're like, oh, boys will be boys because they're very rambunctious and spontaneous and just uncouth. That's how young men are. So they may not be playing with Tonka trucks and like knocking down your Barbie doll house, but you'll definitely have some issues with them repeatedly because they're young and they're going to make stupid mistakes. So I always recommend dating older men because they've already done most of the dumb stuff, you know? Like, they're more mature, typically. They're more mature and they also have money. So therefore, even if you're not as mature as you need to be, you're paying for my time. So I don't feel like my time is wasted. Whereas with a younger man, he really can't pay for your time. So all the stupid stuff he does, you just got to deal with that. No, I'm going to be paid for everything I go through. Because as soon as you make me mad, I'm asking you for money. When I'm happy, I'm asking you for money. So I hope that helps. But definitely, if he's young, yeah, steer very clear away from him. So now I want to get into the benefits of leveling up. So first of all, your self-esteem is going to be different. Like, I genuinely thought that I had a good amount of self-confidence because I always knew that I was pretty, you know, and I knew I was intelligent, and I know that I make guys go crazy when they date me, right? Without even, this is before, any intimacy, because I do not sleep with everybody that I date. Let me just put that out there. But I exude a personality and this vibe that men, they genuinely like being around me, and I know that about myself. So I'm very careful about who I give my attention and my time to. So I'm like, yeah, I know my worth, but I was just way too patient. I was the type of person where, okay, if I tell you not to do this and you do it again, I'm going to check you, and then you do it again and I'll check you, and I'll keep dealing with stuff until I get tired of it and literally can't deal with it anymore. Like, okay, I've already told you to stop being insecure, stop trying to go through my phone, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm like to the point where I'm completely fed up and there's nothing you can say to me. Whereas me now, do you really I don't even wait to see the actual behavior most of the time. I've gotten so accustomed to catching on to types, personality types, that I already know what I'm dealing with. I already know, so I'm good on it, and I'll cut you off right then and there. You know how they talk about how like older women, they don't play with men, they're like very cutthroat and they'll cut you off and they don't deal with BS. That's where I'm at the age of 25. I don't play with them because I don't have time to waste. My time is valuable. It costs money. And either you have it or you don't. Either you're going to be respectful or you're not. Either you know your role as a man or you don't. It's just as simple as that. Thank you. You are so welcome. And the next thing I will say as a benefit. So self-esteem is different. Your relationships are different. Because now, even in your friendships, like I don't have friends that call me the B word. I used to have this friend years ago that used to be like, B, and I'm like, I don't like being called that. Well, I call everybody that, even guys that I talk to. I'll try, but I call everybody that. And it's like, that's not a term of endearment. And if you're still within your friend group calling each other the B word, just find another term. A bitch is literally a female dog. People that breed dogs, if you watch videos on YouTube of people who actually raise dogs, they call them bitches. And then here you are calling yourself a bitch like it's cool. Understand, we live in a different era. The music promotes it. People think it's cool, but it's just like, no, that's really not a high value thing to do, not a high value thing to call yourself. And if a man called you that, you would be extremely offended, I hope. So don't even start, because you're literally teaching someone how to treat you. And a lot of these dusties, they'll be quick to say, oh, well, you and your friends don't call each other that? And I'm like, no, my friends better not ever call me a B word. Oh, really? They're shocked because they're so accustomed to meeting women that think that's cool. So they think they can call you that because that's what you call yourself, and that's not okay. The next thing, people will treat you differently. I got in front of a lady at a store. I didn't even know if she was in line for real. Like, it looked like she was still shopping. And so she's like, I was in line. And I was like, oh, really? I thought you were still shopping. And she said, oh, no, I was just looking at something over here. And I'm like, okay, well, we can switch if you like. And she said, oh, no, it's fine. People are always, even if I'm like coming up behind them, they'll let me get in front of them at the store. People have paid for my meals, my drinks. Women hold doors open for me. So when you're a feminine woman, you don't only get treated very well by masculine men, you get treated very well by masculine women as well. They just want to cater to you. They want to make sure you're okay. If they see you carrying something, oh, do you want me to get that? And I'm like, sure. I don't turn it down. For what? I accept all the help. I accept all the gifts. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So those are three, to me, some major benefits of leveling up. But of course, everybody's journey is different. You definitely will get some pushback. There will be people who don't feel like you should be bougie, or don't feel like you should be classy, and don't feel like you should have standards. Like, it's almost like they feel like you don't deserve to, you know? And you have to be who you are anyway. You have to love yourself anyway. You have to accept and demand what you deserve anyway, because if you don't do that, then you're allowing people to treat you how they want to treat you instead of treating you how you want to be treated, right? So if you have any questions for me at all, please put them in the question box, and then I'll go ahead and close out the video. But I really wanted to do this video on the benefits because I think sometimes it's easy to forget for some people, you know. And for me, I've gotten so caught up in all the benefits that come with this that I don't want to go backwards, you know. It's like, even when I want to leave my house looking a certain way, I can't. It doesn't feel right. I have to take my time. I have to make sure I smell really, really good. I have to make sure I look really, really good, no matter what. Even on a rainy day like today, hat, shades, makeup, right? Everything, the full package, the total package, every single day, because that's what I deserve. And guess what? I keep getting more and more of that. More and more and more of that. So with that being said, if you know that you need to do any of these things, submerge yourself in the level up, get committed, please click the link in my bio and go get a level up book, okay? I have a book called Don't Be So Desperate, Sis, which basically talks to women about not being desperate, chasing men, how to put yourself on a pedestal and have him chasing you instead of it being the other way around, and just being a leveled up woman all around. I have another book called The Art of Finesse, and that book teaches you how to date older men because it's very easy. I prefer dating older men. Like, it's a breeze to me because our personalities, they really mesh. Whereas when you date young men, your personalities clash. It's like oil and water, and it's disgusting. Then I have a book about manifestation, and that is on the website as well. And then my final book is The Dusty Chronicles. Now that is a book which is a compilation of stories. And it's a compilation of stories about dusties, like women who have dated dusties, drug them through the mud, and the outcomes of those situations. And then at the end, it gives a little excerpt of what each woman learned in each of those scenarios. So it's a whole vibe. People seriously love that book because it's like, oh my gosh, like, I've dated somebody like him. This could have been me. Or I'm so glad, that I dodged a bullet, It really puts into perspective what it means when you give your time and energy to low value men. It's disgusting, and you're going to pay for it. A hefty price. But I love you guys so much. If you made it to the end of this video, please drop a red heart. And I'm about to go ahead and upload this to the YouTube channel. So